Today, let's go back to the time when arcades were more than just coin-hungry boxes. They were chaos factories, pumping out pure adrenaline through pixels and explosions. While titles like Contra and Metal Slug hogged the spotlight, dozens of brilliant run-and-gun games quietly redefined speed, spectacle, and storytelling. Today we're diving deep into those hidden gems, the forgotten blasters, cyberpunk shooters, and mechanical madhouses that deserve a second round. Lock, load, and grab that extra credit, because these 15 underrated run-and-gun masterpieces still hit harder than ever. Alien Soldier. It's one of those games that doesn't just start, but explodes onto the screen like a fever dream of metal and vengeance. You're not eased into anything here, you're thrown straight into a technocratic apocalypse where bioengineered soldiers wage war across collapsing worlds. The story follows Epsilon Eagle, once the supreme leader of the terrorist group Scarlet, now a fractured being of light and fury, after being betrayed and nearly erased from existence. Reborn through a child's body, his consciousness splits into good and evil halves, locked in a hunt for Xi Tiger, the traitor who destroyed everything he once commanded. It's equal parts cosmic tragedy and mechanical opera, the kind of narrative that barely fits in a cartridge, but still dares to. Every second tests your reflexes with twitch speed dodges, mid-air dashes, and the brutal satisfaction of countering bullets into life-giving energy. The 25 microstages serve as breathing space between monstrous boss battles that feel handcrafted to punish and reward in equal measure. 6 weapon types, balanced like precision instruments, combine with split-second Phoenix Force attacks to create a relentless ballet of survival. Mystic Warriors, Wrath of the Ninjas. Sliding straight from intergalactic vengeance to neon-soaked ninja rebellion. This next one trades plasma cannons for flying steel and pixelated fury. Set in a near-future New York, already rotting under the grip of the Skull Enterprise, 5 young ninjas take it upon themselves to carve through chaos and take their city back, one corpse at a time. The skyscrapers burn, trains explode, and the skyline flashes with the ghosts of the fallen. When one of their own is captured, the team cuts a path through 9 relentless stages across Japan, only to face heartbreak when their rescued comrade sacrifices themselves to save the rest. It's a pure arcade tragedy. The gameplay, though, tight, flashy, and mean. Imagine Sunset Riders injected with ninja serum. You hurl infinite shurikens, dive between tiers, and chain slides through enemy fire while scarfing down sushi mid-fight to keep your life bar full. Power-ups rain from defeated foes. Some beef up your weapons. Others wipe the screen clean in glorious chaos. Up to 4 players can tag in for co-op mayhem, turning every level into a symphony of blades and explosions. Every boss battle ends with score bragging rights, because the style, not mercy, defines survival. GunForce II. From cyber ninjas to scorched earth warfare, the chaos just trades blades for ballistic madness. The world's already been reduced to rubble when the DAS organization crawls out of the ashes again, unleashing an army of soldiers, mutants, and grotesque biomachines to finish what they started. 2 lone survivors, Max and Lei, decide they're done running. Their mission is a vendetta carved across the metal bones of a dying planet. Every explosion, every rescue of a captured woman, every medal snatched from the wreckage feels like a statement. Humanity refuses to go quietly. GunForce II is a fever dream of gunmetal precision. You dual-wield weapons that can aim in separate directions, painting the battlefield with chaos at every step. Vehicles, from armored mechs to hovering death cycles, turn stages into mobile demolition derbies, and the levels feel like a self-contained apocalypse. The rhythm is fast, the deaths are brutal, and the screen rarely stops trembling from the carnage. It's no wonder this became the spiritual blueprint for Metal Slug. Same DNA, same anarchic heart, just born before the world was ready to handle that much beautiful destruction. Midnight Resistance. The moment the gunsmoke clears from Gunforce's wasteland, you're dropped into something even grimmer. A city ruled by a drug empire and stained with broken families. When a resistance fighter comes home to find his entire family kidnapped by the infamous King Crimson, the mission becomes clear: burn down the syndicate, rescue his blood, and dismantle the drug network that poisoned everything. What makes it more tragic? The motive. His father had created a serum that could end addiction forever, and that's exactly why he was targeted. It's a story stitched together from grief and fury, where every step forward is through a haze of bullets and betrayal. The gameplay turns that desperation into raw momentum. You can aim, crawl, or leap while maintaining perfect firing control, a mechanical ballet of precision and chaos. Between stages, you spend your hard-earned keys in weapon lockers, trading kills for firepower upgrades or defensive shields. Every death costs you dearly. Your weapons, your keys, your progress. And that sting makes every recovery feel earned. Across 9 stages of urban decay and mechanical death traps, Midnight Resistance turns rebellion into a one-man war for redemption. Shock Troopers. Trading trench coats for tactical vests, the battlefield now roars with pure 8-way pandemonium. The world's in crisis, again, thanks to the Bloody Scorpions, a paramilitary death cult with a fondness for kidnapping scientists and playing God. Their prize this time? Dr. George Diamond and his granddaughter, the only ones who can control a serum called Alpha 301. A drug capable of turning ordinary soldiers into unstoppable superhumans. That kind of power in the wrong hands means one thing: total biological warfare. So, 8 of the world's best mercenaries assemble to storm through jungles, valleys and mountains, to drag the Scorpions out of their lair and stop the human weaponization nightmare before it detonates globally. Mechanically, Shock Troopers is a masterclass in choice and control. You can go solo as a one-man army or build a 3-person strike team, swapping between characters mid-battle to balance speed, power, and explosive specials. The 8-direction shooting and strafe mechanics makes it all about reflex and precision, while the dodge roll gives just enough breathing room to survive bullet curtains, be it the tropical ambushes, the cliffside massacres, or the urban infernos. Every boss fight detonates in full-screen chaos. It's war choreography at its most relentless. Wild guns. And just when you think the genre couldn't get any wilder, the Old West collides head-on with steam-powered death machines. Revenge drives the story here. Annie's family is slaughtered by the notorious Kid Gang, and she's not the type to wait for the sheriff. Partnering with the no-nonsense bounty hunter Clint, she rides straight into a 6-stage gauntlet of revenge and circuitry, where every outlaw has gears instead of guts, and every saloon hums with electricity instead of whiskey fumes. What makes it brilliant is the Western grit and sci-fi spectacle, and how personal it feels. Annie's vengeance becomes the player's mission. Gameplay in Wild Guns turns the simple act of shooting into an art form. You can't move and aim at the same time. A design choice that turns every dodge, jump, and dive into a high-stakes gamble. You lasso enemies to freeze them mid-motion, toss dynamite back in their faces, and watch explosions ripple through the screen like fireworks of fury. Power-ups shift your rhythm. Bombs clear chaos, and the Vulcan gun, a reward for sharpshooting excellence, turns you into a one-woman storm of retribution. Blazing Chrome. From dusty saloons and steampunk revolts, we crash headfirst into a world where humans are no longer the apex predators. They're the endangered species. In a future scorched by circuits and tyranny, machine overlords dominate every inch of Earth's surface, leaving survivors to rot underground like ghosts of the past. But when a small resistance intercepts data about a central AI power plant, two warriors, Mavra, a battle-hardened human commando, and Doyle, a defected robot with a mean streak, decide to take the fight to the source. Their mission isn't about victory anymore. It's about making the machines bleed oil before the last flicker of humanity goes dark. Across 5 apocalyptic zones, each one a mechanical graveyard, you fight through waves of drones, mechs, and flying death machines, all in the hope of detonating one final act of defiance. In Blazing Chrome, every second is a gunmetal heartbeat. The run-and-gun action channels Contra's ferocity and Metal Slug's spectacle. Hoverbike chases, jetpack shootouts, and explosions so thick they practically melt the pixels. You dash, dodge, and dual-wield through a storm of shrapnel, backed by an electrifying 16-bit soundtrack that refuses to quit. Every boss is a mechanical nightmare designed to crush your spirit, but victory, when it comes, blazes brighter than chrome. Undercover cops. When the dust settles from Blazing Chrome's metallic inferno, you find yourself dropped into the smog-choked gutters of 2043 New York, a city that's gone from bad to biblical. Flesh and steel fuse into freakish mobs that rule the ruins, and the only thing standing between order and oblivion are 3 city sweepers, a ragtag trio of law enforcers who clean the streets with fists, girders, and the occasional flaming oil drum. There's no polished heroism here, just blood, grime, and the faint stench of burning metal. Every level feels alive, twitching with detail, from crow-picked corpses to neon rot and collapsing architecture. And when a boss crushes you under a garbage compactor, it's a statement about how ugly justice has become. You can't use enemy weapons, but the city itself becomes your arsenal. Steel beams, concrete slabs, boxes of grenades, even dead fish. Enemies range from jetpack mutants to mole monsters clawing out of the ground. The Japanese version piles on more flair, extra throws, aerial specials, and sharper combat flow. It's grimy, cruel, and darkly stylish. A dystopian brawl where even dinner means eating frogs between fights. Cabal. The transition from street grime to battlefield chaos couldn't be sharper. This one throws you behind enemy lines, face to face with an entire army and zero backup. You're a lone commando, with nothing but a machine gun, a handful of grenades, and an unholy amount of courage. The mission? Flatten 5 fortified enemy compounds so thoroughly that they stop existing. The fascinating thing is the tension here. You're always outnumbered, pinned behind crumbling cover, forced to dance between bullets while leveling entire bases brick by brick. Every structure you destroy counts. Every explosion is a step closer to survival. By the time the dust settles, you're less a soldier and more a walking demolition team. Cabal reinvented the way shooting felt long before third-person shooters were a thing. You stand in the foreground, controlling both your soldier and his reticle, balancing aim and movement in real time. One wrong twitch, and you're vaporized. With its trackball controls, dodging meant literally hurling yourself across the screen, fluid, dangerous, and wildly addictive. The destructible environments made every fight personal. Cover wouldn't last forever, and safety was an illusion, and when the enemy gauge finally empties, you've earned every collapsing pixel of that battlefield. Blood Bros. From futuristic crime and chaos, we ride straight into the dust and gun smoke of the Wild West. Two unlikely allies, a cowboy and a Native American warrior, unite for one reason only: to bring down the biggest menace ever to terrorize Dodge City, Big Bad John. The premise is pure pulp. Dynamite duels, saloon explosions, collapsing barns, and outlaws spilling out of every shadow. But beneath the Western grit lies a sly sense of humour. Every victory ends with your heroes strutting off into the sunset in that now iconic Cabal-style swagger. Explosions lighting the horizon like fireworks, celebrating their own absurd heroism. Mechanically, Blood Bros refines the chaos Cabal started. You're still firing from a fixed position, juggling between dodging, shooting, and blowing everything sky high. But now it's faster, flashier, and more unpredictable. Every structure on screen can crumble into dust. Every object hides power-ups, and every tossed stick of dynamite adds to the beautiful destruction. The Western theme transforms each stage into a carnival of mayhem. Part shootout, part demolition derby, and all spectacle. It's Cabal with cowboy hats and twice the attitude. Sunset Riders. Our next stop paints the Wild West in every colour of greed and gunpowder. You're one of 4 bounty hunters, Steve, Billy, Bob, and the iconic Commando, chasing down outlaws so infamous their wanted posters practically glow. The missions begin with a new face on that parchment, each shootout ending with another payday soaked in gunsmoke. But beneath the bravado and whistling spurs lies an arcade rhythm that never lets up. Whether it's train heists, stampedes, or saloon shootouts, Sunset Riders turns bounty hunting into a technicolor ballet of bullets and bravado. The boss fights feel like a showdown pulled from legend. 8 stages, 8 criminals, and a trail of gold and chaos left behind. Gameplay hums with classic Konami precision. You run, jump, and slide through hand-painted western vistas, hurling dynamite back at female bandits, ducking through doors for power-ups, and turning every silver badge and shotgun upgrade into a reason to push forward. 2 players? Chaos. 4 players? Pure pandemonium. The screen floods with bullets, cattle, and outlaws in one glorious avalanche of energy. By the time the last sombrero spins across the desert, Sunset Riders is the definitive arcade legend of one.
Ninja Commando!
Ninja Commando. When a madman named Spider and his Mars Corporation hijack a time machine to rewrite history, 3 elite ninjas leap across eras to stop him. From the Stone Age to feudal Japan, from ancient Egypt to the chaos of World War II, each battlefield is a page of history drenched in explosions and mystic fire. Joe Tiger hurls shurikens like burning comets. Ryu Eagle conjures searing flame orbs in honor of his legendary ancestor Fuma Kotaro, and Rayar Dragon, an English-born master of Iga ninjutsu, rains down spectral arrows that rip through timelines themselves. Every era brings new tyrants to topple, from Oda Nobunaga to Lu Bu, until the heroes corner Spider in the fractured heart of time. In Ninja Commando, the action never stops scrolling. You sprint vertically through waves of soldiers, beasts and tanks, chaining martial combos with bullet-slinging precision. The result? A time-traveling rampage where history burns, ninjas explode, and every level feels like the climax of an action movie trapped in fast forward. Dolphin Blue. And from time-hopping ninjas, we plunge straight into a flooded world where civilization has drowned and the last scraps of humanity cling to floating steel and broken dreams. In the oceanic kingdom of Aquadia, 2 factions tear at each other's throats. The noble royal army, led by Princess Annette, and the brutal evil empire, a rogue force of ex-marines and opportunists who've traded honor for domination. When the princess is captured for her knowledge of the mysterious blue tear, hope sinks fast, until 2 warriors rise from the waves. Aereo, a trigger-happy arms dealer with a knack for chaos, and Anne, a steadfast soldier with something to prove, dive headlong into the blue abyss to bring her back. What follows is a cinematic crusade across rusting battleships, coral ruins, and storm-lashed skies, where every bullet leaves ripples across what's left of the world. You race across stages riding bioengineered dolphins, switching between melee and heavy firearms in side-scrolling mayhem that fuses Metal Slug energy with an aquatic twist. The combo of 2D sprites and 3D backgrounds gives every explosion a tidal punch. It's fast, fluid, and dazzling. An arcade odyssey that proves even underwater, war never stops making waves. Mercs. Now the sand burns under the African sun as 3 mercenaries from the elite Wolf Force are dropped into the fictional war zone of Zutula, where rebels have captured the former US president and the entire region teeters on collapse. There's no diplomacy here, only bullets and explosions. Joseph Gibson, Howard Powell, and Thomas Clark move in like ghosts, carving through jungles, deserts, and scorched fortresses to reach the Hercules transport where the president is held. The mission may sound simple, but everything about Mercs screams chaos. Collapsing bridges, enemy tanks rolling through fire, and a body count that climbs as fast as your adrenaline. On the gameplay front, Capcom distilled perfection into brutality. That Mega Crush bomb wipes the screen clean. A nuclear exhale in a game that never lets you breathe. Power-ups cycle between flamethrowers, grenade launchers and shotguns, while enemy vehicles add short-lived mayhem before they inevitably explode under you. Every pickup matters, because your vitality bleeds out fast. And when you finally storm that final stage, dragging the president out under machine gun fire, you realize Mercs is a sprint through hell with your finger welded to the trigger. Ouch! Hammerin Harry. After the smoke clears from the African battlefields, we crash back into something far more personal. One man, one hammer, and a city under siege by greed. Meet Harry, a blue-collar brawler with a temper as heavy as the tool he swings. When crooked developers move in to bulldoze his beloved hometown of Baramme, they find themselves facing a different kind of demolition. The entire thing that starts as a fight for his workshop turns into a one-man crusade against corporate corruption as Harry storms construction sites, cranes and skyscrapers with nothing but raw muscle and an industrial strength sense of justice. It's slapstick meets rebellion. The kind of story where civic pride is measured in broken helmets and dented steel beams. Gameplay keeps things simple, tight and wildly satisfying. Each level is a platforming playground of falling girders, swinging cranes, and goons begging for blunt force reform. Harry can charge attacks, swing upward, or perform a super hammer smash that turns obstacles into pixel dust. Enemies range from smug foremen to mecha-sized machines designed to literally crush the working man. Between its bright cartoon chaos and working-class grit, Hammerin Harry proves you don't need guns or power armor to save your town. Just a good hammer, bad aim, and zero patience for corruption. From post-apocalyptic wastelands to time-bending ninja wars, these forgotten run-and-gun marvels prove that raw intensity never goes out of style. They didn't all get the fame they earned, but every one of them delivered something unforgettable. Inventive worlds, explosive pacing, and pure arcade heart. Whether you're blasting through pixels or rediscovering them on modern consoles, these titles remind us why we fell in love with chaos in the first place. One bullet, one boss, one heartbeat at a time.